Good morning, viewers and readers. This week from now on, colleague Christel Wessels will be joining me for the weekly news bulletin, and we will try to do justice to what's happening in every week's edition in Rustenburg Herald. We know Friday is a big day when the World Cup rugby tournament kicks off, and that few people are perhaps interested in anything else than in rugby. But don't worry of that, we also have a lot. Christel is going to tell you more about that.
Kyk Waldie, as mens die naam Thys Lourens sê, dan enige iemand dink ek oor 45 sal weet van wie mens praat. Kyk, jy kry vir Eben Etzebeth wat nou die enforcer genoem word. En voor hom was dit Bakkies Botha en hy is the real enforcer, né? Maar Thys Lourens was the original enforcer. En die naweek wat nou verby was ek nou so bevoorreg om basies langs Thys Lourens te sit. En jy weet vir iemand wat 'n fan is dit 'n groot oomblik. Maar ek het dit reg gekry om 'n foto van hom te neem en die is hierdie week op ons voorblad. Ons vertel vir jou so 'n bietjie van sy geskiedenis en dan nou ook oor wat jy kan verwag hierdie naweek met die Springbokke wat Skotland pak op Sondag aand. So vat jou Sondagmiddag slaapie, want die wedstryd begin eers 8:15.
At night.
En maar hoekom ek by 'n funksie was saam met Thys is vertel ons meer op hierdie week se agterblad, want daar's 'n klomp jong manne hier van Rustenburg, 21 van hulle wat ingesluit is in 'n span wat die einde van die jaar in Ierland gaan toer. Nou as ek die gemeenskap is, dan knip ek die foto uit en gaan soek hierdie seuns laat hulle so lank teken, want hierdie is die Springbokke van die toekoms, sê ek nou vir jou, hoor?
Future generation.
Ek moes iemand kry om foto's te neem, want dis groot manne hierdie. Hulle is onder 17, maar ek kyk so op.
Are they all learners of high school Rustenburg?
21 van hulle van die span is van Hoërskool Rustenburg. Daar is 'n paar in die span van 28 is daar 'n klompie oudjies van KS in Klerksdorp en dan ook van Potch Gimnasium. Maar in hierdie week se Herald vertel ons vir julle alles oor dit. So, daar sy. Ek het rugby gepraat, ek is gelukkig.
Viewers, my news is perhaps also a bit positive in the light of the past months and weeks' battles with electricity and water issues. This week, Magalies Water has announced that it has appointed a new Chief Operations Officer, which is good news for Rustenburg in the light of our endless battles with water and electricity of late. Mr. Ofensen Tuang, new Chief Operations at Magalies Water, is welcomed. Christel, let me go ahead also with a little bit of sad news. Premier Butchery, perhaps the oldest butchery in Rustenburg, exactly 103 years old, is closing down today as we speak, for permanently, that is. The Chats family has been with the Rustenburg community for ages. It is well known, it is very popular in all communities, and it has supplied wonderful meat built on zuurwors, everything that has been snacks for Rustenburg, especially at rugby games and events like the World Cup rugby tournament. So it is on a sad note that we say farewell to Sharon and Susie Chats and their staff and workers.
Maar dit is 'n direkte uitvloeisel uit die rapid transport.
To a great extent, it is the result of the rapid transport, which has rendered the premises of Premier Butchery basically inaccessible to the public. And despite numerous calls for help or assistance or at least understanding, Premier Butchery got nothing but a cold shoulder. So yes, it is a sign of the community, all for a project which has basically enabled a selected few to put millions in their pockets while the community still suffers. Nobody, very few people are making use of the rapid transport project. It is definitely not a deserving cause, let alone of 3.2 billion rand. But let's leave it at that.
Ja, hoe minder mens daaroor praat, hoe minder gaan mens jouself ontstel, né? Maar wat dink jy, is daar lig in die tonnel? Het Rustenburg daarom nou alweer 'n egte voltydse munisipale bestuurder, want sou daar nie verlede week iemand aangewys geword het nie?
Christel, we have a big story on this for this week. No, sorry, sadly to say, at the Rustenburg municipality, the 4th consecutive meeting tabled to entertain the appointment of a municipal manager, a chief financial officer, as well as 8 directors, was adjourned unsuccessfully last week. So after more than a year, after more than 12 months, Rustenburg still has an acting municipal manager where legislation in fact provides for nothing more than 6 months in special cases. After more than a year, we still have an acting municipal manager who is unable to make groundbreaking and long-lasting decisions, hence his acting capacity. Everything on this story, page 4 in this week's edition.
Maar ek gaan nou Vrydag weer probeer.
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best.
Dan nou 'n bietjie op die misdaadfront. Die polisie soek inligting oor 'n liggaam wat verlede week gevind is op 'n plaaspad by die plaas Leeuspoor. Dit is so op die pad daar na die Konka waar
Yes.
En die lijk is gekry deur iemand wat op die plaas gestap het en toe nou op 'n liggaam onder wat met takke toegemaak is afgekom het. Ja, en dit was nou al so sleg in 'n so swak toestand dat dit baie moeilik is om hom uit te ken. So die polisie soek inligting oor enige iemand wat verdwyn het of wat vermis word. Ons vertel daaroor op bladsy 4 gaan kyk en dalk kan julle die polisie behulpsaam wees om ten minste vir een familie berusting te bring oor wat van hulle geliefde geword het. Dan is daar 'n paar polisie suksesse, soos 2 verkragters wat tronk toe gestuur is. Die een is 'n man wat 'n 16-jarige meisie ontvoer en aangeval het. En die ander is 'n sekuriteitswag wat by 'n kliniek in Lettabong gewerk het, wat 'n verpleegster op Nuwejaarsdag oorval het en die dame het met mening teruggeveg. Ek en jy sal nou die naam Lorena Bobbitt ken, maar sy het hom Lorena Bobbitt. As jy nie weet wie's Lorena Bobbitt nie, gaan Google.
There's also the interesting book of The World According to Garb,
Yeah.
which has the same incident, but let's leave it at that. Christelle, if I can add a little bit of good news, on page 8 in this edition, there's a very inspiring story of Moropa Healing Nation, their initiatives to promote healthy living and a lifestyle in Rustenburg's communities. There's a special report written by Kenny Modise, a well-known journalist from the Rustenburg area. Yes, this is a good news story. Unfortunately, one of few in the late events in and around Rustenburg.
As ek so ietsie kan inbring van die Rustenburg bonus hierdie week, as jy gaan kyk in op ons webwerf of jy kry jou bonus op straat, daarin het ons lekker fokus op 'n boek wat jou die hele Suid-Afrika vol kan vat met meer as 300 kleurfoto's. En as ek nou so vanoggend na die nuus geluister het wat sê die olieprys gaan dalk in Oktober weer 'n keer met 'n astronomiese bedrag opgaan, stel ek voor kry die boek want dis so ver soos wat jy gaan kom vir Desember se vakansie.
I'm so glad I've already bought my bicycle because the prices of bicycles is going to rise substantially in the next few months. You can be sure of that.
Ja, ek beplan 'n donkiekar.
Perhaps that's better. Christelle, I'm going to conclude this week's edition with the Zimbabwean election. The Zimbabwean election 2 weeks ago was, another farce. Everybody agrees on that, except perhaps Fikile Mbalula and our ruling government. He was inaugurated on Monday, Emerson Mnangagwa that is, and just a quick reminder of the recent excitement after the founding of the multi-party charter of South Africa, the new hope or wannabe rescuers of political parties in South Africa. We are speculating, yes we are, that corruption is going to be, and especially election fraud, is going to be one of the major obstacles that the multi-party charter will have to overcome in their hopes to unseat the ANC in next year's election. The ruling government is not going to surrender its power and its hard-fought richness, not necessarily freedom, but richness at the election polls of next year. This is going to be a point of deep discussion, profound discussion, and everybody in South Africa will have to be prepared for this, especially our political parties who hope to lead us into a new future.
Ja, jy weet Zimbabwe is nou al 'n meme.
40 years.
Want dit is nou al algemeen bekend. Jy tel daar en jy tel daar en jy tel daar totdat die een wen wat wil wen. En nie noodwendig die een wat moet wen nie. Maar dan is dit nou al wat ons vir hierdie week het. So 12 uur vandag, 1 uur se kant, gaan kry jou Rustenburg Herald. Dis die moeite werd. Daar's hierdie week ook weer 'n AgriPulse in wat propvol lekker nuus is. Die Noordwes VLU se kongres is die hele middelblaai. So as jy wil weet wat aangaan in jou omgewing, gaan kry jou Rustenburg Herald.
And enjoy the rugby on Friday and on Sunday, and enjoy the tournament. We hope the Boks come out as winners in just over a month.
Ons hoop Mani Libbok se skopskoene is ingepak en gepolish.
Keep well until next week, same time.